Welcome into the Final Score.tv. Brian Abker with you. And, of course, you can get all the high school sports you want every Friday night on Sports Radio KJR. Dick Thane and myself hosting Varsity Hoops Live. And now we take an opportunity to do something I love to do, which is catch up with some of the great coaches from around the Puget Sound and the state of Washington. And today it's my pleasure to welcome aboard the head coach of Thomas Jefferson, Kyle Templeton. How are you, Coach?
I'm well. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh, well, thanks for taking the time to do this. Now, you're in your fourth season at Thomas Jefferson. You're on your way to take on Curtis in the 4A regionals. Tell us a little bit about your journey as the head coach of Thomas Jefferson. How have things progressed for you in the program since you took it over 4 years ago?
Sure. I'm actually a graduate of Thomas Jefferson as well. 1995 was
nice.
my senior year. So I've kind of went to school, went to college, bounced around a couple jobs before I ended up here. When I took over, Thomas Jefferson's not traditionally known as a basketball power. We're sort of the academic school in the district, and which translates to us being really good at soccer and tennis and cross country and things like that. And when I took over, we hadn't had a winning season since 1995, which was my senior year. My first year, we were 10-10, which got us to 500, but still not a winning record. And this year, we were at 15-10. At this point, is our first winning season since 1995, my senior year, and also this year is the first year that we've made the district tournament as a school since 1985, and first year we've made the state tournament as a school ever. So it's been a pretty good journey, and it's been nice to see my seniors now, who are my first class as freshmen, kind of come through and really get their school out there and raise the program to, a little bit above the doormat status that it sort of has been for the last 25 plus years. It's been really exciting for everybody involved, and especially as an alumni, it's made it even a little sweeter for us.
That's really impressive. Now, you said you graduated from TJ in 95. Did you? I assumed you played basketball for Thomas Jefferson?
Yep. My senior year we were 12-8, which again was our first winning season since 85, and the only winning season between 85 and 2009. So I finished there in 95 and went on and played at Highline Community College with Brian Scalabrini, Quincy Wilder, those guys.
Oh,
really
yeah.
good team there.
So when we go to scramble to dig up your stats, Coach, what are we going to be looking at?
You're going to be looking at a floor general, which is a good way of saying not a good shooter. I think I was third in the league in assists and first in steals my senior year, but I couldn't throw it in the ocean. So that was sort of the downside of my game. But I got to play a couple years of college basketball with a future NBA player and stuff like that, and have a good experience. So
that's fantastic, and clearly you had the mind for basketball, and that's evident by what you've been able to do with the program. Brag on your team a little bit, Coach. Tell us about some of your key players. I mean, I've got the roster in front of me, but I want to kind of let you do the talking.
Sure, we're kind of a balanced team in terms of what we do. Our motor that drives us is especially at the offensive end, is Darian James. He's a 6'1" senior. He's had a really good year. He's a 4-year varsity guy. He's up over 18 points a game now. For our last three playoff games, he had 33 on Monday, he had 29 on Saturday, and he had 22 on Friday. So he's been in a groove lately, and he's doing it in an efficient manner. He's able to stroke it from three, and he's able to finish with authority at the rim, goes up and hammers the ball on people at times. He's sort of our offensive catalyst. We've also got a good big kid named Deontay Anderson, who's a 6'7" junior. He's good on the block, also a really, really good athlete. He's able to run, fill the lane, and finish at the rim. And then we've got three other seniors that are, fill roles for us. Josh Duckworth is a 5'10" senior who's a 40% three-point shooter, good defender. Danny Park is our senior point guard, another really good athlete. He's able to control the ball for us offensively, and more importantly, he's really a pest defensively, especially on the ball. He's able to set the tone for us defensively. And then Tyshawn Webster-Piper, another senior, forward, 6'3", good athlete, total team guy, maybe the smartest player I've ever coached. He doesn't need a whole lot of the ball. He doesn't have a big ego. He's able to be just the ultimate team guy. He defends the other team's best player, and he's able to kind of be our glue. And it's important for us to have a guy who doesn't necessarily need the ball offensively and still is able to contribute in positive ways.
The head coach of Thomas Jefferson, Kyle Templeton, joining us right here on the FinalScore.tv. Coach, tell us a little bit about the style of your team, and is that indicative of this particular team or your program in general since you've taken it over?
Well, unfortunately, we don't. Well, some of us, anyways, don't have the ability to recruit who we want at the high school level. So we sort of have to tailor around what's in our neighborhood. And this group has been, we've kind of been grooming this group. We knew they were going to be good since the time they were freshmen, and once we got them all here, we've been kind of grooming this group. And we're really fast. That's one thing. We don't have the best size in the world, but we've got a lot of speed. We could shoot the ball from the three-point line pretty well. So defensively, Danny Park is maybe one of the better on-ball defenders in all the states. So we want to pressure the ball as much as we possibly can, force teams out of their stuff and make them catch the ball way off the three-point line instead of on the three-point line once they get in their half-court offense. Offensively, we want to push if we can. Our guards, like I said, are really fast. Also, we run a lot of sets. We run more sets than probably than most high school teams, and the reason we do that is we want to get the ball where our kids are most successful with it, and it makes us a little tougher to scout, I think. But at the end of the day, if we don't ever have to run a set, that we can get a rebound and push the ball and get to the rim in transition, that's goal number one. Second half of that, if we get the ball out and we need to run a set, we've got a zillion of them for us to get the ball where we want to, where we can be successful with it.
Kyle Templeton, the head coach of Thomas Jefferson, right here on the FinalScore.tv. Now, Coach, if I was a freshman and I was heading to Thomas Jefferson next year, what would some of your current players tell me about your coaching style?
Well, it depends on who you ask, I guess. I think that they would say that I'm very, I can be tough on them, but it's sort of tough love. One of my biggest things about this whole position is making it a good experience for the kids, not just from a basketball standpoint, but for these 3.5 months that we have them, to make it an experience that they're not going to forget, that they're going to remember for a long time. And so I ask a lot of the guys, but I do it for their benefit. It's not for me or the rest of my coaching staff. It's for them. So if I'm going to get on you, it's so that you can be as good as you can be, and you can, make yourself as good of a teammate as you can be. I'm sort of a talker. I'm loud. I'm enthusiastic. I'm energetic, and sometimes that can come off from a distance as maybe a little bit rough and tough, but it comes from a good place, and I think that I've earned the right to be tough on the kids because they know from getting to know me and playing for me and knowing where my heart is that I've earned that right to be tough on them, and they know that there's just love behind it. So they're, it takes a while at times, but it gets there eventually, and we've had unbelievable alumni support from kids who've played for me the last 3-4 years. And those kids wouldn't come back if it wasn't a good experience. Well,
it's clearly been successful for you so far. What's the atmosphere, Coach, surrounding your team with the student body at Thomas Jefferson?
I told somebody else this earlier this week. There's not a place that we've been thus far that has anywhere near the support that we have. Our games are constantly filled. We've got the stands are totally full. Our band is just insane. Our parent support, community support has been awesome throughout the entire season. When we travel somewhere, where we're at, where kids are loud and proud. We've turned every one of our playoff games into a home game essentially, just by our crowd getting out to travel. And so that's one of the nice things about being at Puyallup this weekend is Curtis is a heck of a team, and I don't know if anybody's playing better than them right now within the state, but we're going to be there, our whole entire community. We're going to have 500 kids there and a band, and we're going to pack the place, and it's going to be a unbelievable atmosphere.
And that leads me to my last and final question. You've got Curtis on the 23rd, as you said. What are you expecting from them? What type of team are you facing in Curtis?
They are really, really good. I've got some video of them. I've seen them play in person a couple times. They're deep, they're strong, they're aggressive, they're fast, they can shoot a little bit. They've got athletes up and down the roster. They are one thing that we do struggle with a little bit is teams that are a little more physical. They are a little more physical than we are. We're going to have to get over that stigma and be a little tougher. We're more of maybe a finesse team. I know sometimes that comes off as a bad word within basketball coaching, but you sort of are what you are at this point. We're going to have to do what we need to do to match that physical intensity, but they've got a really good scoring guard in Dom Robinson, and they've got a couple of bigs. Andre Lewis is a good player. Ison Brown's a good player. Dom Jordan, their point guard, is a really solid player. So they've got guys that can definitely hurt us, but I think that we match up with them okay. Athletically, we are not going to be embarrassed by them. We've got some good athletes as well. It's just going to really come down to how well we can defend in the paint and how well we can end possessions with defensive rebounds. as opposed to giving them just unlimited shots at the basket.
Well, Coach, good luck, good health down the stretch, and thanks for taking time out to talk with us here on the FinalScore.tv.
Appreciate it.
There he is, the head coach of Thomas Jefferson, Kyle Templeton, as they will take on Curtis in the 4A Regionals on the 23rd, giving us a little time right here on the FinalScore.tv, your home for high school sports.